Welcome to Meet Me at Holidays, where I believe every cup has a story. I'm the owner of Hollydays Coffee House. My name is Holly, kind of in the pun. I thought it would be fitting to share some stories with the public and to share some stories of the world, not just about me, but maybe bring in some local business owners, some other organizations, community leaders, neighbors. But first, I'm going to kind of give you a little bit of feedback on me and who I am. And then also introduce you to the drink of the day. My drink is a caramel vanilla latte, sugar-free, with oat milk. It is my go-to no matter where I'm at. I do enjoy a lot of sugar drinks as well, but majority of the time I do sugar-free, and that's one of the reasons why we have a lot of sugar-free flavors here. Um, I've stated the story before about how my love for coffee started. I'm going to give you kind of brief synopsis. I grew up in a Navy town. My dad was in the Navy for many years, and he would come home from the service and he would make the best coffee in the world. And that happens to me is Folgers. Okay, maybe not the best coffee in the world, but as a child, those memories really stick with you. Waking up to smelling that amazing aroma in your house and sharing that love of coffee with your father, those are some memories you'll never forget. And you know what? Those commercials, top notch. Nothing comes closer to home. Along the way, I shared the love of coffee with my husband, who has to have everything blended and strong. And then my children, my daughter loves coffee as well. My son, not so much, but you know what? There's still time to convince him. But there's a lot of other amazing drinks other than coffee. He loves his steamers. I started my career in actually food service. I actually worked at Wendy's for a little bit, and then I started working at a bank for about 10 years. And during the time of working at the bank, I started as a barista as a secondary job before my kids were born. And I loved it. It made me feel fulfilled. I loved the customers, meeting new people. The customers shaped my idea on community. It was absolutely great. So in 2007, I started working at Rosedale Market, and it's a little tiny mom and pop shop in Gig Harbor. It was wonderful. During the time, I learned a lot. And then I started a family, decided to go back to school, and I got my certificate in HR and business management. And then after that, I started working for the government for about 10 years in human resources and administration. And I love it. I love helping people and solving problems. And it was great for what it was. Every job has its ups and downs, no matter where you are. Even here, we have our days. So learning along that way, I realized what I really wanted to do was just make coffee. I love making coffee. It makes me feel fulfilled. And then, so I started Holly's Way LLC because really of a joke that happened along the way in my career. I would often hear some derogatory terms being like, "Oh, well, it always has to be Holly's way. It always has to be on Holly's time." And after I took some time to really think about what they were talking about it being Holly's way and Holly's time, it really made me think of the fact that it was because I was being honest. It was because I was following laws, rules, and regulations. I was doing the right thing. And that was kind of the hardest thing to do, is to stand up for what is right. And so I turned that into something more positive. I decided to turn it around, and I used it to follow my dreams and to do what was right and to trust my path. And I believe that that is what anybody can do. You really should follow your dreams, do what's right. And if you do, it'll get you to the right place. I believe it. I still do. Realizing my passion for coffee never left, I started a mobile coffee business, and it did okay. I try to get a trailer up and running, but everybody knows permitting is not always easy, and no matter what you do. And so one year, we decided to do Santa Claus photos here because my dad is one of the Santa Clauses out there that help out with some Santa photos. And I decided that it would be a good time to maybe open a brick and mortar. And so we opened Hollydays Coffee House here in Town Square Mall, March 15th of 2024. And it felt great. It had its ups and downs. There's been a lot of things over the last couple of years that I've learned as a business owner. There's a lot of things I wish I had known. I would love to be able to talk to other people and their journeys and how they got to where they are, things that they wish that they could share with other people, some hard truths, some good facts, maybe even some inspirational stories, something that we can share with our neighbors, our family, or friends, maybe even an early entrepreneur. That would be great because I wish I had this knowledge. So why meet me at Holidays? Meeting amazing people every day here through the coffee shop has been great. People literally sit at one table and we have conversations. One conversation to one table and to another. Sometimes they'll even talk to each other. It's great. I have met business owners, artists, veterans, volunteers, community leaders, all sorts of people with amazing stories to tell. And that's the idea behind this show. I'd like to feature some local businesses, anybody that wants to talk about things that they believe that needs to be shared. Please reach out to me. Let's invite some business owners, nonprofits, like I said, creators, community members, maybe even nominate some people that you think that might want to share their story here. I'm going to be putting this on my Facebook, my YouTube. I would just like to get it out to the world that there is more to just a coffee shop. There is more to community. There is more to having these conversations and sharing these stories. So this is my short for today. I'm going to keep these videos a little short, probably like 10, 20 minutes, because I really want to stick to the facts, but I also want to get to know people. So I would like to hear stories from other coffee shop owners here in Port Orchard. Just reach out to me. Thank you for joining me on my very first episode of Meet Me at Holidays. Remember, every cup has a story. So please, let's hear yours. So cheers.